All right. So today on NewbieVet, got a special guest. We got my girl Sereniti Hall. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Good. So, you originally from Augusta? Augusta, born and raised. Born and raised. Okay. What hospital? University Hospital. Okay. So where you grew up at?
I think it's University. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't have a clue. Have to ask the lady that gave birth to me.
Right.
I think it's University though.
University. Okay. So what neighborhood that you remember growing up first?
First? Well, as a kid, like, we lived on Dunn's Lane.
Okay.
First.
What was that like?
On Dunn's Lane, I really, you know what's crazy about Dunn's Lane? The thing that I remember the most is, like, Dunn's Lane, Holly Street, like, back to back. So one of my grandmothers lived on Dunn's Lane, the other one lived on Holly Street. My mom also lived on Dunn's Lane, but I was going to Collins Elementary School. So one day, my aunt was taking me to school on a bike. And we saw this man, like, standing back in the shadows a little bit, and he was making noise, and everybody called him Freaky Deaky. I don't know.
He was just, like, making random noise?
Trying to get our attention.
Right.
And everybody called him Freaky Deaky back then. People that was raised up back then would remember who he was.
Right.
And he would, like, open up his jacket and, like, reveal himself to everybody. And I remember jumping off the bike and taking out running, leaving my auntie.
That's crazy.
That was the funniest thing about back then. Like, but yeah.
Okay. So, what was the next place you stayed at?
After Dunn's Lane, we moved to Sunset Villa.
Sunset Villa. How was that for you?
Sunset Villa was pretty cool in the beginning, and then it was like that's when my life started to transition.
For real?
For the worse.
For the worse?
Yeah, because my mom, my sisters, my dad was in prison at the time. My sisters and my brother's dad went out and smoked some weed with somebody, and they laced his weed, and he became addicted to crack after that. So then, major breakup, and, you know, mama, now she's stuck with 4 kids, it's fending for herself, young woman with 4 kids, and he just out there acting a donkey, and because she moving on with her life, he wanted to come in and, like, try to mess her life up when she was moving on. But he was no longer able to provide for her. When he did. But when he got sick, I call it sick, being on drugs, he was like, he just couldn't do it no more. So, I never forget, we moved to the small side of Sunset Villa. And we was sitting in the house one day and we just heard something coming through the window.
Something's coming through the window.
He threw a brick or something through the window. And mom was like, get down or whatever. Then when she would leave home, he would break in the house, cut up her sofas, cut all the cords and stuff off her TVs, and the iron, anything that she could use, he'll cut the plugs off of it. He'll cut up her clothes, but he never touch our stuff. So that's how she knew he did it. Then they went to fighting and bickering back and forth. It was just a hard breakup, because when it was good, it was good.
Right.
When it was bad, it was really bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, how old you was again?
During that time, probably about 9 or 10 years old.
9 or 10. So that impacted you a lot?
It did.
It did a lot?
It did.
Okay. So after going through all that, like, what was your mindset going through at that time?
At the time, it was real hurtful, because how people be saying the American way, you grow up with a mom and a dad, and my dad was already going to prison at the time. So this person is my dad. He's my daddy. I love him, and he was like the person that was in my life that was good, outside of my own dad. Right. Everybody else was like up to something. Right. You know what I mean? And when that happened, it hurt the family a lot when that happened. So I think I became a little rebellious over time. Like, it started, and then it started escalating. It started getting crazy as time passed on. Right. So, yeah, that was real hurtful. We just lost him not long ago. So even though he was like on the drugs or whatever, our love for him didn't change.
Right.
It was just something he had to deal with. But yeah, we just lost him not long ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sorry for your loss. So, how was it for you, like, in coming up in school?
In school, I was pretty good. Like, as far as when it came to my work.
Right.
My mom would tell you I was making honor roll, bringing her home certificates, trophies, and everything. But when I wanted to go do something, I just wanted to go do it.
Right.
And I was going to do it.
Right.
Regardless of what anybody had to say about it. So.
Right. Okay. So, you had, going through everything that you've been, you started getting in a little bit of trouble.
I did.
So, like, well, did the incident at home kind of help fuel that trouble that you got into? Did it fuel it a little bit? As far as, like, because, at that time you was kind of didn't know which direction to go, so it kind of made you rebel a little bit?
Probably so.
Okay.
I started dating a boy. Thought I was in love.
How old you?
I felt like I loved him. You know what? I can't even remember. I was young.
Yeah.
I was so young. And he stayed over there on the small side, and his mama used to try to, like, break us up because I would sneak out because my mama was always going to work. So I sneak and go see him, and we'd get together, and he started teaching me how to steal cars and stuff. And we just started doing all kind of stuff.
Right.
And,
so you were stealing cars?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, during that time when you first started doing it, like how, like, was it an adrenaline going on?
Yeah,
or
always an adrenaline.
You was mostly brainwashed by him, or what made you just? I ain't never
been brainwashed.
You just wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's always me. I never been brainwashed by anybody.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right.
I want to play victim to anything when it comes to dating a guy and saying I'm brainwashed by him.
Right.
Cause no, I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So,
I think I enjoyed the excitement.
The excitement of everything.
Yeah. I did.
So that was your first boyfriend?
Yeah.
So, so you wind up getting caught and wind up going to YDC?
I did.
How long you stayed in YDC?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you because I was in and out of there all the time.
Fighting?
I never go to YDC for fight.
No, so was you fighting on the inside of that?
Oh, YDC?
Yeah.
No, because most of my homegirls from the hood I grew up in, they used to be there.
What?
It was like a party when we go there. Like, I'm in there and I got a drug charge. They in there, they got 32 counts of robbery and like, warehouses and stuff. I never forget one time they was like, you want to go rob these warehouses with us? And I was like, hell no. I don't fuck around. I was like, I don't fuck around with no robbing no warehouses and stuff like that. And they was like, oh, that dope you selling, you don't want to go around? And I said, I'm going to stick to what I know.
Right.
This shit right here that y'all doing is not for me.
Right.
But we still all ended up in the same place. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So what got you into, like, selling dope?
What got me into it? My daddy. Like, I always watched him growing up as a kid. And I always seen him, like, making all this money. Like, even when I was a little girl and we lived in Village Square and the police busted him, we was in the pool and they was like, go get your daughter from the pool. And they brought me up there and they was like going in the ceiling of his apartment. And they were bringing money down. I'm like, damn, that's where the money was. Cause I used to hit it down low.
You didn't even know where the money was at.
He used to be so stingy, like he used to have the money in the closet, in his little jacket pocket. They used to wear them little leather blazer jackets back then,
right?
And I'll stick my hand there, feel wild somewhere. I was like, oh, let me peel some off of here, get me a little bit out of here.
Did he ever catch it?
Oh, no. He'll say it, well, he ain't know for real.
Right.
He probably would have tried to give me a whooping or something. He wasn't even that type of dad.
That's crazy, man, because it's like mostly most of the kids that came up, most of their parents dabbled in selling dope.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Like my family, all my family sold dope. Mama, daddy, uncle, auntie, cousins. Like I grew up in a drug selling family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it does kind of rub on you a little bit. You around it a lot.
See, everybody in my family didn't sell drugs, but my daddy did.
Right.
And he's not like I'm bragging on it, but from what I saw, he was good at it. Because he always kept a job. But he still was hustling.
Right.
And bringing out all this money.
Right.
I want some of this money too.
And taking care of family.
Facts. Multiple. He always had a new woman every chance.
That's my thing is. My thing is this: if you gonna be, you know, I've always said this: if you gonna be running the streets, you know, and taking risk and doing all that, put your family in a position where if anything happened to you, they're straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Leave some money for them. Put some money away where it's like, if somebody come to you, they can't confiscate everything because everything is not in your name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Put stuff in, make sure your family's straight. But a lot of people don't do that.
It'd be easier said than done.
Facts.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't say that.
He didn't do that.
Right.
But I learned how to take care of myself.
Right.
You know, it's crazy because in retrospect, I think about when I was going to school, I'd go to the candy man, like, load my book bag up with candy, and I'd carry my books. And I'd sell my candy in school.
Candy. I used to sell candy in school, too.
Take this stuff and call it, I can't remember what we called it, but you take the sugar and mix it up with Kool-Aid.
Oh.
And sell it.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
In school, they used to love it. It gives you a rush, too, for real.
Yeah, it's like a gooey type. It gives it a gooey type.
Nah, this wasn't gooey. It was like you just put it in your hand and put it on your tongue. And it was sweet, sugar and Kool-Aid with a little flavor to it. I used to have my book bags loaded. And it's crazy because it's kind of like how it is selling drugs. The teacher bust you, taking candy and stuff,
right.
Yeah, and you got to go get some more.
Right, because they won't let you sell candy in school premises, right?
Nah,
you couldn't make no money like that.
You weren't even supposed to have it.
I got in trouble. I got suspended for selling candy one time. So, yeah. But it's crazy because they don't want you to sell candy on your own, but when it's time for them to sell candy and chocolates and stuff like that, they give you a brochure, and you got to go around the neighborhood and ask people for Girl Scout cookies and other things. They sell it when they want to sell it.
Just like the government.
Right.
They gonna sell it when they want to sell it. Yeah, they gonna tax. They get some off of it.
They gonna tax.
They ain't getting nothing off you selling it.
And that brochure candy, it be good, some of it, but that should be expensive as hell.
Oh, most definitely.
You get like 32 chocolates for like $52.
Mm-hmm. In that brown box.
In the brown box, like for real. So that's crazy, man. So after so during your time when you were selling, what got you, like, how did you get caught?
Well, first I moved. We moved from Sunset Valley. We ended up moving to 9th Street. All the boys down there was hustlers. All the dope boys, hustlers. You know how it is.
Right.
Girls, we be giddy, and we see these boys with these nice cars, and they hustling, and we love them. And
why is that, though? Why do girls do that? Like, why is that?
My daddy was a hustler, and it's like, I don't know, you be attracted to the bad boys for some reason.
I'm curious about that because I'll be wondering about that. Is it because of the image of them being a bad guy, rough around the edge, that turn women on, or do it be the financial gain, or do it be the popularity gain?
You know what? I don't know, because the boy that I started dating back then, it was a chase for me with him.
Right.
Because I saw them getting the money like I saw my daddy getting. I wanted it too.
Right.
So I used to get on my little bike, go buy me a little bit of drugs with my money, and try to come up throughout the day, because it was like that back then. It was like how fast food restaurants is. Like, they was coming to get it. And I used to get in the cut. I remember I'd come whisper. And I learned how to, not whistle.
Yeah, whistle.
Right. I learned how to whistle. And try to get the Jays to come over there to me, like in the cut. And they used to try to run me off, like, you better get your ass from around here or whatever.
Right.
But I ain't never care about that. And
do you have issue? Have you ever had issue as far as, like, because, you're female, black female, and then you stepping out there in a lane where it's mostly male dominated in the drug game. You don't really have that many. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of female drug dealers, and a lot of the female drug dealers don't get caught compared to the guys that get caught. Normally, when a female goes down, the guy got caught and she went down with him. Majority.
Not me.
You know what I'm saying? It says some cases, majority, some cases. But did you ever have issues on trying to make a name for yourself out there?
I never wanted to make a name for myself. I just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I never tried to make a name for myself. I just did it to the best of my ability.
Right.
Like, I wanted to make some money. I wanted to live good. Help take care of my family, which I did all of that. Friends. Like, it was like nobody that couldn't come ask me for anything, and I'd be like, no. and I wouldn't do it. I was always the same person. I always been the same person no matter what. If I was broke, if I had the money, I was always the same person.
Okay.
So, but I ain't never try to make a name for myself. That just came along with it.
Came along with it. Yeah. The name will come regardless as well. Yeah. Okay. So did what was some of the changes that you start seeing, like once you start making, once you start getting your money up, getting money and stuff like that? Were the people acting around you different, or would you get more respect, or like how was that? Did you have people hating on you, or because drug game is very dangerous too, and it's even more dangerous, especially if you're a female. You know what I'm saying? So what would you say?
So if they did hate on me, it probably was from afar. I really ain't never really give a damn if they did or they didn't, because my circle was always small. I never been a person that just be out there with people like that. It's like I dealt with the people I dealt with, and that was it.
Right.
Like I was always
best way to be. I mean, I think if you're gonna be out there hustling or whatever, the best way is to keep your circle small, your clientele small. And, because a lot of people get money hungry and they try to get the most people out there and, except all new faces. All new faces ain't good faces.
Right.
So, describe the day when they came in, they caught you. Describe that day, like that morning, and how, did you expect it? Did you expect it?
Evening time. It was like a build up over time.
So did you feel it coming?
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually felt it?
I did, because I remember telling a couple of the guys, like, I'm sick of this. I think it's time to get out of this. And they were like, no, you ain't got to do it no more. You can just give it to us, and we'll do it. I'm still going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Because the feds come get your ass. Like, who you got your dope from?
Yeah, Rico.
Oh, I got it from her.
Rico.
And they go like, okay, we finna go get her too.
Yeah.
But they was already on to it anyway. But it was like, I had to start dealing with some guys from Jamaica. And we used to be like, in different states, like going back and forth with it or whatever. And one of the stash houses that was in New York got hit. Not by the feds, but it was a girl that one of the guys used to bring. He like get them green cards and bring them over here to live. And she started dating one of the boys from the hood. And she started telling him the business. Pillow talking.
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, such and such, this is a stash house, they do this and they do that. And some guys came up or whatever, and brought some drugs there. And the dude that I deal with told him, like, we ain't there, we in Miami or whatever. And I'm just saying Miami because I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to remember exactly. I think that's where we were, in Miami at the time, or he probably was in Miami at the time. Anyway, long story short, those guys came in there to rob them for the drugs. And they, like, stripped them, cut their throats, and tried to blow up the building. So
they killed everybody in there?
Yeah.
How many people was in there?
3.
So that's crazy, man. So what if y'all was there that day?
We would have been dead.
You been dead. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, because, like, you don't see it coming. That's the thing, like, with selling drugs. It's, like you said, it's a dangerous game. You never know what's going to happen. You could be robbed, killed, anything.
You never know who's plotting on you.
Right, you never know.
You never know.
Right. It's a dirty game.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a dirty game. Like, when you get yourself into it, you need to, like, really know what you get yourself into.
Yeah. So they attempted to burn the building, or they did burn the building?
They attempted to.
Okay.
Like, I think, from what I was told, I think somebody smelled gas, and they reported it, and that's how they found their bodies in there. From what I was told. So. And
so when y'all got the news, like, what was y'all going through? Like, what was y'all mindset at the time?
Everybody was like you could hear a rat piss on cotton during this time. Everybody at my house, like, it's dark. We sitting on the deck, and then the dude was like, I gotta call her family and, like, let them know, like, what's going on. I'll pay for the funeral. I'll ship the body. And he asked me to call. So I called, and they was like, back to Jamaica. So they was like, tell him that don't ship us no dead body down here. And when he get off the plane down here, he a dead man, basically.
Talking about the guy?
The dude that had brought her over here.
Yeah.
The young girl. So that was the gist of that.
Yeah.
He ended up going back to Jamaica then. We all end up going to prison. Which he's still in there right now. I think he got a few more years or something because they ran his time consecutively,
yeah.
Yeah, so that morning, I never even felt anything that morning. I think I was closing. I had a sports bar at the time and a beauty supply store. I was closing the beauty supply store and I was leaving out of the beauty supply store, and I got by JD Bike Rider. It's a car dealership. I don't know if it's still there or not, but and so when I got ready to yield, the police came behind me and they hit the lights. And I had one of my friend's son with me and my little brother. My little brother was young as fuck.
What?
And this little nigga had dope on him and I ain't know it.
Oh, damn.
And they ended up taking him to jail too. But so they pulled the lights on me and they was like, we need your license and registration. But he got my license or whatever.
Did you ask him why he pulled you over?
Yeah, I think he told me something about some lights out or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Something crazy he told me. So another narcotic officer, I think at the time was Robert Partain, he jumped in the car with me and he was like, your ass going to jail today. And I was
the officer?
Yeah. He got
in front of the kids?
He had them put them out the car. Well, he jumped in the passenger side and he was like, and you need to drive careful because he started telling me like all these police and stuff around here. So it was Robert Partain and he said, your ass going to jail today. So me thinking like, no fuck I ain't, because I ain't got no dope. So he was like, you don't need none. We got you on conspiracy on wiretap. So I'm like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, he started like telling me about conversations we had on the phone and stuff. And he was right.
Yeah,
like,
I bet so you, like, what was your mindset going at that time?
I was like, damn, I'm fucked up for real. But in my head, I'm like, I still ain't got no dope. So at the time, he was like, give us the password to your house or whatever, because we at your house. So I gave him the password to the alarm so they can get in the house. And then they was like, we going to your mama's house. Tell her she better open the fucking door or we gonna bust it in. He
was talking like that?
Yeah, so I told mama, I was like, you better open the door because they outside your house and want to come in your house.
And they was outside?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's crazy because my mama used to smoke weed back then. So she paranoid, want to get rid of her weed. I'm like, they ain't thinking about your little weed.
They ain't thinking about your little weed.
Yeah, they worrying about if you got some dope money in this house that belong to me.
Yeah.
Then you might take your ass to jail, but other than that, you good.
Right.
So, after that, everything just started happening. And then it's like everybody who phones they had tapped, they started sending these letters. And these people so stupid. They thinking like somebody told something on them because they got a letter in the mail that they on the wiretap. I don't even know nothing about no wiretap and how this shit's supposed to go, but that's just what they do. And none of these people ain't even selling no drugs anyway. And if I'm up here on a drug scale and you down here, you can't help me get out of jail.
Right.
Well, some people ain't understand, but people gonna say what they want to say during that time. And so I ended up sitting down there, finished the road for 18 months, waiting on my time. And it was a long ride. It was like I missed my kids, but I know I had fucked up because going back, I had been in there before this when I was 18 years old. Somebody called me and police was already there waiting on me. And I ended up going to jail. I'd rather not say who the person was because they like family or whatever. And I remember being in jail and I was praying to God, like, God, if you get me out of this, I ain't gonna never do this again. Promise him I ain't gonna never do it again. I think I got out about 2 weeks later. I about 2 weeks later. I had like $100,000 bond. It's crazy part. I had $100,000 bond when I got in trouble first time. They let me out. The bondsman had to come back and get me because they was like, oh yeah, we need more collateral. They made him come get me and lock me back up in jail. And then he ended up coming back and get me, let me back out. I don't know what that was all about, but it worked itself out. But anyway, I was in there and I was praying, like, let me out of here. I ain't gonna do this no more. I ain't gonna never do this no more. That's why I made a post one time with a jailbird to say anything to get out of jail.
Yeah, anything get out of jail.
And I got out and probably 2 weeks later I was doing it bigger than I was the first time. So when I got back in there this time, I'm laying on the bed and I'm like, man, I done really fucked up this time. But at the same time, I'm thinking like I can't be mad because I prayed to get out of this situation. Said I wasn't gonna never do it again. I got back in it and I was doing the worst. I ain't think about what I said when I got out. I just wanted to get out of there. And I ain't, Just sometimes it take more than a little slap on the wrist for you to learn your lesson.
Exactly.
Especially for me.
Exactly.
It did.
Exactly. Exactly. So, during those time, that time you was locked up, you started writing.
I did.
You start getting into the writing process. So, what made you want to start writing? Of course, time, but like.
Yeah, I didn't want prison to be a revolving door for me, and I was always constantly thinking. I thought about what my lawyer said. Jack Boone was my lawyer during that time, and he was like, "I'm gonna tell you something. I know your lifestyle, and I know how you like to live, but you better figure out what you're gonna do when you get out of here, cause you can't sell no more dope." And I was like, "Oh, I ain't gonna sell no more dope." He was like, "Bullshit, I don't believe." That's what he said. Yeah. So I'm like, I got a lot to prove, because I ain't even believe myself at the time. Like, I was like, I'm young, I could still maybe try it again or whatever.
Right.
But as time went on, and I saw like the pain and suffering I had to put those kids through, it's like I gotta get out of here and make an example for these girls.
Right.
Like a positive one. To show them like this is not the way. I had 2 girls at the time, and I used to like write letters to my mom all the time. I used to write my boyfriend all the time. I used to write him like 10, 12 page letters, sometimes longer than that. Like, I had a lot to say. So my mama, one day she was like, you need to write books. You writing these letters. And like, it started sticking with me, and I was like, I might try it. Because when I was in the county jail, I was like trying to write script or whatever. So I read this book by Wahida Clark, Payback as a Mother. When I read it, I was like, damn, I think I can do this or whatever. And the crazy part is, I wrote my first book, Fiending. I wrote it in 30 days. Like, non-stop, I was in there writing, like, yellow notebook, just writing. And she is the person that I sent my novel to, and she signed me to a 2-book deal while I was in prison. So that, like, started my career.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So what was the name of the first title?
Fiending.
What was that about?
So Fiending is it's a fiction tale based on true life experiences, and so in the story it has Frenchie and Tiny in the story, and they're best friends. But in real life it was my aunt and my uncle, which my uncle was bisexual. But would I say bisexual? No, he was never bisexual. He was like he was homosexual, because he only liked men.
Right.
So he was homosexual. My aunt was like always on drugs, and both of them was on drugs. She could get high of anything she could get high of for. And he was on cocaine, but she like crack, cocaine. She didn't care.
Right.
And I made them friends in the book. But the main part of the story was when I was like growing up in Harlem with my grandmother.
Harlem, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
After my mama had went through her little thing, we went and stayed with my grandma for a short time. So when I was there, my uncle was going through having HIV, transitioning over to having AIDS. And I was the oldest of the grandchildren, and I was able to see that and like remember. And it's one thing that like stood with me after all these years. He was in the shower one time, and his body had got so frail, and he was so weak, and he fell. And my grandmother ran in there, and he was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm taking you through this. And she got in the shower with him, held him up, and she was like, you don't have to be sorry, you my child, I love you. Basically tell him I'm gonna be here with you through the end of this.
Right.
So I watched him go through that. So the message in the stories is, about drugs and getting off drugs and being homosexual and how you can contract it, and it's just stuff like that. That part get me a little emotional, because that was just a person that I really, really loved in my life. Right. And I was so glad that I got a chance to learn about HIV and AIDS, the differences at an early age, because I didn't want to be judgmental to people that, had it or whatever. Like, some people think if I get by you and you got HIV and AIDS, I'm going to get it.
Right.
So I learned early, and I call myself trying to educate other people in my story too, by telling it. So
back to what we were saying about the AIDS, like, you don't really hear about it as much. People mostly don't really talk about it, like it don't exist no more, like COVID.
But the crazy thing about that is,
what's that?
You're not gonna hear people say, "Oh, Joseph died from HIV," or "Joseph died from AIDS," because really that's not what kills them.
Yeah, it's a cold.
They're gonna say he died from pneumonia.
Pneumonia,
which he did die from pneumonia.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it, like when we go visit him in the hospital, we gotta cover up to protect him, to keep him from getting sick. I ain't worrying about us getting sick, cause we can't walk in the room and AIDS gonna jump on us and jump in our body and we got it. We can walk in there with a cold, some type of infection, anything, and it'll make them sick, cause their immune system.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. So I'm sorry for your loss on that. So your second title, what was the name of your second title?
My second title was Still Fiending. It was a follow-up from Fiending.
Follow-up, okay.
Yeah, I think this.
Still Fiending. That's the book right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We changed the cover to Fiending already, so they gonna change this one too.
Okay. After
these two books, I went independent. And I started self-publishing my own books up under my own publishing company.
So what made you want to get into your own publishing?
I wanted to be able to do my own thing with my own stories.
Right.
And then I took on a girl's book, A Treacherous Hustle. This girl, back in 2016, reached out to me and asked me would I do her biography. And I did. So, and I wanted to publish it under my own company, which I'm glad I did. Because, it's taking me places now. But y'all don't take nothing from Wahida because she opened a lot of doors for me by signing me. And I'm grateful for that. But, I just basically want to do my own thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want to have your own brand where it's like you created something. It's okay to have that assistance and to have that help. But in the end, it's all going to come to your decision and what you make. So it's best to go ahead and start being independent, getting used to that. Because when everybody disappears out your life, it's just you.
Right.
So, most definitely, man. Most definitely. So, Mama Told Me So. What was that about?
Mama Told Me So is a book on generational curses. You know how something might happen with my grandma, might happen with my mama, might trickle down to me and, keep on going through the family. Somebody got to be able to break that curse. So without telling the story, it's like the grandma may have been in a bad relationship and she telling her daughter, like, you need to listen to me because I already went through this. And, sometimes we'll be a little rebellious toward our parents. And we're like, what they know? They don't know nothing. Or we be so head over heels in love with a guy, we don't listen. We need to go bump our head and learn for ourselves.
Facts.
And then when you learn, you be like, Mama told me so.
Facts.
Like, she told me. So that's what that book is about.
Okay. And A Treacherous Hustle.
Oh, A Treacherous Hustle is the Felicia Blakely story that I was telling you about. Yeah. They did a scripted story on it called When Love Kills.
Right.
And she was a teenage girl that migrated from Jacksonville, went to Florida, got involved with a pimp, started dancing in a strip club. Pimp coerced her to go out and murder 3 men, and now she in prison with. Yeah,
I think I seen a story. Matter of fact, it was her and another female.
Right. Misha.
Felicia. Yeah. They was they killed a couple. They killed a guy at a hotel. Mm-hmm. And they killed a few people.
They did.
Killed somebody in the car. And then I think they killed 2 guys, and that's how they got caught trying to flush the guns in the restroom or something.
No, they was in a Mrs. Winters.
Right.
And they was getting ready to rob the place.
Right.
And that's how they got caught.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they got caught. Yeah. So, and the pimp got off.
He did.
Yeah, he didn't. She didn't tell on him. Which is,
she was in love with him.
She was in love.
And then also they said it had to be more than one person to tell. So when the time came, she was really the only person, but now the other girl is willing to speak on it. Yeah. So we right now are doing a documentary on this story. Yeah. And then we're gonna go on to do a 2 episodes. I always had it screwed up. 2 seasons, and it's gonna be 5 episodes per season. Right. In the A Treacherous Hustle.
Treacherous Hustle, yeah. Yeah. I know, like you see, I know a little history about that. You know what I'm saying? So
we're gonna give it to them raw and uncut when we put it out.
Yeah. So and it's sad, man. It's sad. There's actually a few more women like Felicia Blakely, like that have similar crimes and stuff on the strength of a man or strength of a pimp. Right. You know, because a lot of people don't understand pimping ain't dead.
It ain't.
It's very much alive. So they just got more advanced with it. You know
they call it human trafficking now.
Human trafficking, or and some of them use it. Some do it legally by OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
I heard about it.
They be having like they'll double the money. They'll get have a female have sex with a client, and they film that and they upload it on OnlyFans. The female, then she get double the money.
That's
so
pimping.
So yeah. So yeah, which is crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So but all that's kind of one of the same though. I just feel like like even in Atlanta, sex trafficking in Atlanta is high.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, don't talk about that.
It's big in Atlanta.
It's big in Atlanta. Real big, real big. So so far as with the Felicia Blakely story, what got you so attached to it?
I don't know. Like, I read about it, and it struck something in me. Like, even her background of being, like, molested and,
right.
All the things she went through in the beginning that really never came up during the story. Like, certain things people just want to sweep up on the rug and they don't want to talk about that. Then she went through rape and, all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that captivated me and was like, at first I said, do you want to be attached to this story? Like, is this where you want your career to go? And I thought about this book, Push, I read in prison. Push Until Something Happens. And they changed it over to Precious. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The lady Monique played the mom
yeah.
And she was at the same point one time. Was it gonna make her career or break her career? And she did good. So I'm like, I think I'll just go ahead and do it. And then
right.
I started going to visit her and, talking to other women that was incarcerated. So
right.
it was like either you going to take a leap of faith and do it,
right.
or you going to stay scared all your life and don't never take no chances. I ain't never been a person that was scared to take chances.
Right.
So
Speaking on going back to like about Felicia Blakely, when said she had rape when she got young, when she was younger. I think most young black girls either been molested, been raped, been tampered or touched or whatever. I think not all, but I think majority of the black young ones in the South has experienced that, which caused them to have multiple boyfriends or they looking for love. Now, that mean that it doesn't mean they're a hoe or anything like that. Because I feel like if a woman date multiple men, I don't consider her a hoe.
Promiscuous.
Promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? I consider her more of, because dating doesn't mean you're having sex all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, because you can be dating somebody for 3 months and never had sex, and then y'all didn't talk. That's just what it was. But to other people, y'all done had sex. Y'all done messed around. Y'all done been there for 3 months. Y'all done did something. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like majority of the women in the South that turns to stripping, turns to prostitution, turns to just taking clothes off, street life, or just things like that. I think they have some type of past like that in their past. A lot of them won't admit it, or a lot of them because they try to hide it away.
I've been a victim of it, and I didn't go out and do any of that stuff. I think I became more strong-minded, and I became a person that wanted to be independent and feel like I can go out and get my own money and I can take care of myself, so I don't have to depend on anybody else to do it for me. Right. So, like you said, everybody come out different. You can have a stripper. Right. You can have women that's promiscuous. You can have women that's going out and advocate for other women. You can have women that shut down. You can have women that turn to lesbian because you don't want to deal with men anymore. Right. You can have women that turn independent and make it hard for a man to please her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you in my life. I want you in my life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm kind of like that. Right. I don't feel like I need anybody. Right. But everybody want to be comforted. They want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think, and I know it might be a bad way to think right now, but I don't think it's gonna make me or break me. I just don't believe that.
I don't think it's a bad thing about, I feel like if you gotta be able to, for one, I think in order for you to love anyone, you gotta be able to be by yourself and love to be by yourself. enjoy yourself, appreciate yourself, value yourself, respect yourself, build yourself up.
Right.
That way
you can't depend on another person to make you happy.
That's true.
You got to make you happy first.
That's true.
You depending on somebody else to make you happy, people will disappoint you. That's what people need to understand. People will disappoint you.
Yes.
And my thing is, like, I'm going to enjoy my life. Like, I was in and out of YDC. I've been in prison. I'm not finna deprive myself of anything trying to force myself to make somebody else happy. Like, I got to make myself happy. And this is one life that I have. When I close my eyes, ain't nobody getting in that castle with me.
Right.
I'm getting there by myself.
Right.
So I got to make sure I'm happy with the way I live my life. And that's why I start, making a change.
Right.
For the better. Because
right.
I was on a bad path back then. And I feel like I went through it for a reason. Because I got my 2 daughters. They have friends. And their friends will come confide in me and talk to me about certain things that they go through. Because I've been through a lot of shit that I can talk to little girls about to try to, get them on the straight and narrow. And then you're going to have someone that's so rebellious, like, they don't want to listen. Like, you got to really, really beat through that wall that they got up because of what they've been through to try to help them.
Right.
But it all comes back to, like, you got one life. You got to make yourself happy. Don't let nobody put no expectations on you because people will do it. And know that people will disappoint you. And so when they disappoint you, the devastation won't be so hard. Because I've been disappointed before, like being a kid and growing up and thinking like this person for me. And you find out that it don't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people in life will bring you a representative when you meet them. And then later on you meet a real person. Like, I want to come to you and be me. Some people say I come off as harsh sometimes, but I don't want you to find that out later.
Why you think they say that?
That I come off as harsh sometimes? Yeah. I think I'm real blunt. Like, when I'm talking to people, I'm real blunt. I can, water it down, but why would I do that?
Well, why would you do that?
Because that's not me.
Right.
So if you notice already, then you don't know how to deal with me.
Right.
It's just like dealing with snakes. I'd rather deal with a snake that I know a snake than to deal with somebody that I got to find out that you're a snake later. You're going to bite me later. Right. Go ahead and bite me so I know if I want to deal with you or not. I know how
to be around you, yeah.
Right. So, you just, in life, you have to learn how to navigate through it and survive. Because even like, when I'm saying all the stuff I was going through when I was young, it's survival of the fittest.
True.
And after I've been through all the other stuff, like the molestation and all that stuff, it's like, I got to worry about me. And I done seen these people before. Like, I don't know if people will feel how I feel, but it's like, when you come and encounter with some people, me, speaking for myself, it's like certain spirits be on certain people. I can kind of like tell that's a thief, that's a molester, Right. This person gonna do this person gonna do that. And you kind of know how to deal with those people. Like, if you already dealt with a person like that before, right, then you'll know.
Hey.
You just gotta take heed of it or remember.
Yeah, because our body has a natural defense. Right. Like, people ignore it though. Like, you get lightheaded around certain energies. You get, your body tenses up around certain energies and stuff like that. But a lot of people ignore it. Our body, like I said, it has its own defense warning system, but like a spider senses, like Spider-Man. But yeah, so okay, cool. So dealing with the book, so it has like doing this age now, like writing books. Is it harder to get people to sit down and read books, or do people still read as much as? Because some people, you don't really hear people be talking about, yo, I just picked up the new book. You know what I'm saying? Do people still,
Every now and then you'll hear people saying it, but you never know what people do in the comfort of their own home. All I can do is keep on doing what I'm doing.
Facts.
But I do know that some people like to read on their Kindle. Some people like to have something tangible. Right. I like to have something tangible. Right. But at the same time, like, when you see your book sales, some people think, oh, when you write a book, you just gonna be John Grisham overnight. J.K. Rowling or somebody like that. It don't work like that for everybody. Right, you gotta put your work in.
Right.
But what
and find the market.
Right. And what I have learned and what I'm starting to do now is people like more visual stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
more visual.
Some people lazy.
Right.
So if you put it on TV for them, they're going to watch it and then they want to go learn
watch
more.
The book.
So now I'm starting to turn the books into films.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on right now.
So question. All right, so even when you're doing the films, are you going to do like the Color Purple thing like they did? You know, Color Purple, the book had way more explicit stuff in the book than the movie. They softened it up for the movie. Are you going to do just like the book?
No, I won't do it just like the book.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it'll be super long if you do a movie and you put every single thing in that movie that you have in the book.
Right.
But you're going to definitely touch on all the key points.
Key points, right.
So guess what? Once they go watch the movie, if you want to know the rest of it, go pick the book up.
Go pick out the book.
Read the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, somebody is sharing their art with you.
Right.
God gave somebody the ability to go write a story.
Right.
You know, so they can share with you. It's like people that paint, people that do music, you know, stuff like that. Everybody has a gift. And I feel like they have these gifts so they can share with other people in the world. So, you know, spread it.
Facts. Big fact. Okay. So, outside of books, you also do music management.
I do. So let me tell you, like,
what got you into that?
Let me give you a little small backstory from the day I walked out of prison. So the day I walked out of prison, I know I needed a job. Because you're on probation, you got to have a job.
Yeah.
So I started working in Taco Bell and I was running a hotel. Eventually, I became the assistant manager and then general manager of the 2 hotels, left Taco Bell. And then when COVID struck, I went to school to be an esthetician. And I started, like, putting together my own spa. So I did that. Books I was already doing. That was something that, and it's not going anywhere because I love to write.
Love to write.
I love to write books. I love to write music, like lyrics. I can't sing a lick, but I like to write. So, probably about 9 months ago, I met this guy, and I challenged him, like Brian Miguel. I challenged him to do a song for me for a Church's Hustle, so I could put it in there as one of the songs when they dancing, like on the pole or whatever.
Right.
And he came back and he played the song for me. I was like, damn, that's good. What, like, where you record it?
Shout out Brian Miguel.
Yeah, where you record it? And he told me that he was recording down to Bizzo at the time, down here in Broad Street.
Shout out Bizzo.
So we started like putting stuff together. Like it just went from there. Cause I don't know if he really had a manager or what, but he was like, you want to be my manager? You should be my manager, whatever. So I just took it on, you know. Full speed ahead. Music is something that I love too. I love music, and things just went on from there. So now I got two guys. I got Brian and I have Cash City Matt.
Shout out Cash City Matt.
And both of them are amazing. When I said I struck gold with these 2 guys.
Right.
So
was it kind of hard looking for artists? Like, is it hard looking for artists these days?
I don't look for artists.
You let them come to you?
They came to me.
Right.
So, and I just signed on.
If you like it.
Yeah, and it's been like evolving ever since.
Right.
Like just the other day, we just did a single for Brian with Mr. Hanky.
Yeah.
He a platinum.
Shout out Mr. Hanky, platinum artist, platinum producer.
So that song gonna be coming out soon. Everybody gonna love it. But those guys got their songs out. Cash gonna be doing his single this weekend. He's doing it's gonna be pretty cool because we got the Rug Rats in the video.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so we'll be shooting his video on Saturday.
That's dope.
So it's gonna be pretty cool. I think it's going.
That's dope. Okay. Cool. All right. So one last question. So far as these, like, how has time changed far as the women, you know, young girls and women mentality far as when you was younger compared to now? These girls are a lot younger. Is there any type of similarities, or there's like a change in the way women, you know, females act now compared to when you was growing up?
The only thing, like, some people victim of circumstance, you know what I'm saying? And some people search for ways out and they don't know how to get out. When I was coming up, we didn't show like a lot of skin. We were more like tomboys when I was coming up.
Okay.
Now, the women today is like, everybody got to show body.
Right.
Like, you got to show ass, titties, you got to show something to, like, get the way you want to be. I ain't never been that type of person.
That's crazy, though. Yeah, how time like that happen,
Yeah. So, that's basically the biggest thing. That's the difference between when I was growing up versus now. Everybody ass out. And men love it.
Yeah.
You know, people love, society love it. Like, we didn't have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and, you know, all this stuff when we was coming up.
Right.
You better get on that phone and dial them numbers if you want to talk to somebody, or you better go look at TV, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now everybody got a chance to shine too. So people could put themselves out there however they want to put themselves out there to come up.
Facts.
It's just like, I was hustling to come up back then. This they hustle. Can't knock nobody hustle. It is what it is.
Big fact. All right, so before we slide off on NewbieVet, how can they get in contact with you? Is there any love you'd like to shout out?
You can get in contact with me on author Sereniti Hall on Facebook and on IG. I shout out to my 2 artists, Brian Miguel. You can follow him, Brian Miguel 35 on IG and Facebook, Cash City Mac, YSL Mac on Facebook, and Cash City Mac on IG. And I just like to thank like the producers that's been working with us, Bizzo,
shout out Bizzo,
Spielberg,
shout out Spielberg,
Mr. Hanky,
shout out Mr. Hanky,
Carmen Simmons, cause she gave me some connects.
Shout out Carmen.
Yeah, mostly those people. And what we try to do is people that work with us from the bottom, we try to take them to the top with us.
Facts.
Like, I don't want to deviate from my team, and also you, J.Paul,
appreciate that,
and Sean, Film is Life TV. You guys, like, we don't want to deviate from our team and just go. We want our whole team to come up with us. Yeah, and Shaniqua King.
Facts.
That's our video vixen.
Facts.
She bringing the girls to the videos, so you know, over at Exclusive After Dark, check her out too. So
okay,
yeah.